This comment here by Ghanaian filmmaker Leila Djansi has created a whole lot of chaos in the creative arts industry, the Ghanaian creative arts industry for that matter. And it's all because she said YouTube will collapse very soon. Just like you, I was equally shocked by that statement. I had to definitely find out in what context this statement was made because sometimes when such news cards are put out, um, often the statement is put out there to either send a message home or cause the reader to find out more. But unfortunately, on this side of our world, we always leave it with the news card. We don't get to read a full story, or we don't get to, even if it's a video and the quote was taken out of, we do not go to watch the full video. So we're going to do a deep dive into this statement. What did she actually mean? And even after she brought in the clarification, they did still send a message home. And I'm Muslim Penny. My name, of course, is Emmanuel Kwame Sapon. You know where to find me at Olale Salvador. This is OSN, and welcome to the In Case You Missed the Show. Okay, so on Tuesday, September 9th, 2025, celebrated Ghanaian filmmaker Leila Djansi was a guest on the Hits FM Daybreak Hit Show. And they were talking about a number of things. She even revealed over there that, she was actually the one to have led the production for The Woman King, but it was taken away from her and given to a South African producer. She talked about other things related to the film industry, where she rehashed some of the things she's been passionate about Ghanaian film or the Ghana film industry. One of the things they also spoke about also had to do with the Film Fund. Now, the Ghana Film Fund is basically a government initiative to give filmmakers money to produce movies. All right. And for her, she was, a bit skeptical about it. And basically, her core argument about it was, the fund is premature and she doesn't believe in it. She thinks that there are no systems. The industry does not have proper, profitable distribution channels. Okay. And so she went on and on and on and on, arguing that filmmakers will just take the government money and, they'll make a film and they'll have nowhere to sell it. Because come to think of it, why are you making a film and not looking to make profit? Why? All right. So, of course, this particular, what do you call it? This particular quote that you are seeing right now was the quote that obviously set a firestorm on social media. All right. YouTube will collapse very soon. What do you mean by that, Leila? Where is that coming from? And for someone who is a seasoned and, well, seemingly abreast with times, technology, and whatever, making a statement like this, came off as a betrayal to those who really respect and honor her contributions to the film industry. And you did see some comments, under the post, insulting her, negative. Someone says, Black man's prayer immediately, them see say people they cash out in something, then they start the wish for the downfall of that particular thing. At least someone was kind enough to say people in the replies won't take time to listen to find out what brought that statement. She didn't say she didn't say it will cease to exist. She was talking about the money gained in putting movies or doing videos for YouTube for money, and that business is what she was talking about, not the app, and so on and so forth. Did she see the earnings for last year and projections for the forthcoming years? The white man uses data to make very precise projections and nearly accurate predictions, but Bibini would just keep spewing things using mere sentiment. And so the comments, people are even asking Grok, what's going on and so on and so forth. To say, Bebre. Now, like one comment suggested, this statement was made within context. So I had to go and find the context just to be sure that this analysis is well informed. So I had to go to my brother's Facebook, my senior Facebook, and Mr. Kwame Dati, who is also the host for Showbiz A to Z. But in this particular, or for this particular conversation, in this particular context, Kwame Dati and Dorina View were definitely hosting or were the host for this conversation with Leila, and he put out a snippet, or shall I say, he put out a snippet enough to cover the context in which Leila made this statement. So I want us to listen to what Leila says. Okay, listen to what Leila said, and then when we come back, we try and put twos and twos together and see if it was enough. All right, for her to make that statement, even if it was a chipping. Listen to this.
Personally, I don't believe in the film fund. I really honestly don't. I think it's premature.
Okay.
Because there is no distribution. If you give the film fund, how are they going to? People think, oh, we're just going to put it on YouTube. I'm sorry, YouTube is going to collapse very soon. There's so much.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's so much congestion on YouTube, and they're always changing their policies. So if you go, and now I feel like it's seriously oversaturated. If you oversaturate it, they're going to reduce the earning. So how much are you really going to earn on YouTube if you put, if you
Your work's there.
if you just say I'm gonna just put the film on YouTube, and then you have piracy. Somebody's gonna download the film, and again, why would I spend money and make a film and then just put it on YouTube? You want people to have the experience, cinema, stream at home.
Okay, so there you have Leila Djansi, pretty much explaining or saying what she meant by YouTube was going to collapse soon, or shall I say the context out of which that statement or that quote, this quote that you and I are seeing today, came out from. Okay, and so social media, social media, they don't. When you make a statement like this and it's not really clear, like I said, the headlines, take the lead. The best thing you have to do is to come out and clarify. Okay, because some may not even get the opportunity to even see this video. All right, so the headlines definitely wrote themselves. Leila Djansi says YouTube will collapse, and trust me, the wave of panic and the debate and even the criticism that was flying, it was just too much. So Leila had to come out and explain what she meant, and I'm going to go right here because it's the first point of explanation. And she says, I knew this was going to happen. Thanks for having me. And yes, I should have been way more specific. So she admits that, the statement or the quote that is going around, captured from the statement she made on the show, was not in-depth enough to clear any form of doubt. Okay. So she's saying that, but I was also really trying not to say too much because I ain't trying to make headlines. But she just made the headlines. You're right. So she says, no, YouTube platform is not going to collapse or it's not collapsing. The style of distribution and earning that many are relying on will collapse due to the kind of behavior we are seeing now. They will change how you are able to earn, and it will not be favorable. We have seen how this has transitioned over the years, and it's inevitable. Thanks for having me. Now, this is a comment she left under the video you are seeing, but it didn't stop there. She went further to her own wall, and she also says that I stand by what I said, but please let me clarify. The platform YouTube is not collapsing. What I meant is that the current model of distribution and revenue African filmmakers rely on through YouTube is unsustainable and will eventually collapse. Oversaturation, piracy, and fraudulent practices will force the system to change. Amazon Africa collapsed, Netflix scaled back, many others have collapsed. YouTube has already shifted its monetization policies over the years, making it harder for creators to earn. So if you depend solely on YouTube revenue without diversifying your strategy, you will eventually be stranded. Treat YouTube as your third or fourth release window, not your primary one. And I think this is where the argument should be situated, because the last line there justifies the statement she made earlier, although it came off as though the app itself is going to die or the app itself is going to collapse. And that definitely does not look like something that will happen in light years or even in forever, because that would mean Google as a parent company collapsing. And as far as I'm concerned, Google keeps acquiring startups here and there. All right. So YouTube definitely is not going to collapse. But let's look at the conversation she has started. Let's look at the conversation she's drawing our attention to from the Ghanaian film industry POV. We need to be honest about what we are dealing with as an industry. When you look at what she even added here, it tells you where we are or how we got here as an industry. She says, even the grandpapa of them all, which is the theatrical revenue, collapsed and had to reinvent itself. So, talking about theater, stage, okay? You think YouTube monetization will live forever? It will not. It will change again, and you must be ready to change with it. Back in the day, once your partner application was approved, you start earning. She's talking about the YouTube partnership program. Back in the day, as soon as you apply, or as soon as you sign up or you start, the what do you call it? You get the approval for the YouTube partnership program, which allows you to monetize your content. You start earning. But these days, she says, but now you must meet a threshold before you can even apply. And according to her, they want legal ID cards. And she's wondering what's next. And it is true. When you apply for, or one of the ways to apply for the YouTube partnership program, which is the YPP, is you need to meet 4,000 watch hours. That is for long form videos. And you also need to have 1,000 subscribers. Okay. Now, after that, it will take a while, about 5 to 6 days or even 7 days, to have the approval of that application done. Now, we already know how creators from this side are struggling to match the revenue of their fellow creators outside Africa. Because if you didn't know, I'm telling you today, videos that come or views that come within Africa cannot be measured to how much you earn when you have your views coming from abroad or coming outside Africa. Your RPM is very poor. Your revenue per minute, per milli is very poor. So she says, quick money now is fine, but if you want a real career, diversify. Unless you are making Black Panther for YouTube, i.e., YouTube has commissioned you to do the movie. That's different. You need to scale up and catch up. Do not forget that major distributors are also on YouTube using it as rental or AVOD, which is now a fourth window. Okay? They would take away the audience with a more refined palette and leave you with dregs. That means your career will stay down there. Nigerian movies making 5 million views on YouTube is not a reason to forget everything else and jump on the bandwagon. And that is where the problem is, because we've seen our Nigerian brothers and sisters putting their movies on YouTube. We think that is the way we should go. Ghana as a country, and we have a problem with how we copy industries. Even our democracy has suffered this copycat syndrome. Because you look at the people that colonize us and the democracy we fought for, and how our systems still mirror those who colonize us. When in fact, we need to look at the solutions we often try to proffer for African problems. Because the system in the countries of our colonizers are way different from the problems that we have as an African country. But within Africa, even within Africa, right, sometimes we tend to overlook certain nuances. Because this conversation is definitely hinged on nuance. Forget the clickbait, forget the headline, forget it. Move past it, stay with me, walk with me. This conversation is rooted in nuance. And it's because we've seen Nigerian film producers loading their movies on YouTube and clocking a huge number of views. Now, you need to understand Nigeria as a country, or the Nigerian community, they are everywhere. They are arguably the most populated African country across the world. So it is normal to see them put their stuff, even content creators like Mr. Macaroni and Officer Woos and the likes, the comedy skit makers and all, they've been loading their stuff on YouTube because, hey, They've been doing that for time until the likes of the Amazon and the Netflix came in, and there were commissioned movies or commissioned films where they were casted to be a part of. But in terms of film, in terms of movie, right? Leila is saying, don't treat it as your primary window. Don't let it be the first point of distribution. She talked about oversaturation. There is so much congestion indeed. All right. It will take a while for your video to catch the eye of the algorithm and then recommend it to the people that must see it. Especially if you're a new uploader or a new account holder on a YouTube page. Okay. She talked about piracy and fraud. Not too long ago, we saw the headlines about a TV station downloading a Ghanaian producer's film and airing it on their TV station. So you are definitely losing out on ad revenue. You are losing out on, your viewership being stolen. And then we cannot run away from the fact that YouTube is always changing their monetization policies. All right. And some people actually believe that YouTube is making it difficult for creators to earn money over the years. Now, people have been looking for other, video streaming or should I say content creation hosting sites that could pay better without having to go through all this stress to be a part of the chosen. And the annoying thing is you have zero control over these things. So she's saying that if you depend solely on YouTube revenue without diversifying your strategy, you are going to be left stranded, and that's the truth. And I quote, treat YouTube as your third or fourth release window, not your primary one. When you have touched base with your first and second distribution, first and second releases through your distribution, system, then you can consider YouTube as the third and fourth release video. But of course, when these conversations happen and when these conversations start, you have the supporters, the group who or the fellow creatives who are equally industry players and understand you from a deeper point, and they intend to praise you and telling you that you're making a lot of sense, and you are saying nothing but the truth, and we need the structures in place, and so on and so forth. And they definitely did see her comments not as an attack on YouTube, but as a way of criticizing Ghana's own lack of proper film distribution system. Then you have the pragmatists, the ones who would engage or the ones who agree with the long-term warning, but they also say, Masa, you can't avoid YouTube's current role. So the sentiment was basically, look, we know it's not perfect, but what else do we have? If you ask me, that is also a valid point. That in the absence of cinemas showing Ghanaian films or a local streaming service, YouTube is one of the only accessible platforms for our films to reach a global audience. And you can earn some income there as well. Then you have the critics. Now, these ones, they don't want to let go of the headline. They say, look, your comments were flat out wrong and overly alarmist, suggesting that YouTube can never collapse. It can never collapse. It is a creative industry in Ghana that needs to wake up and learn how to use the platform. I don't know how that is going to happen because you're always late to the party. But like I said earlier, going past the provocative, clickbait-worthy headline, I think this is a very important conversation we need to have, and we don't need to trivialize it. Because what Leila said, in fact, after she clarified what she said, and I have to reiterate, she didn't say YouTube is literally going to die. She's basically confronting an uncomfortable truth, which is the over-reliance on a single foreign-owned platform whose rules you do not control. And that is a very weak foundation to build a multi-million-dollar film industry on. So we need to ask the questions. We need to ask the harder and important questions. How do we protect our content from piracy? How do we create a system where Ghanaian filmmakers can build sustainable, profitable, and long lasting careers? And that's the question for me. I will leave, or I want to leave with you guys. What do you think is the future of film distribution in Ghana? And from what you said, do you agree with what Leila Djansi said, that our YouTube model is a ticking time bomb? Or you believe that it's still the best tool we have right now? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. This is a crucial conversation for the future of our creative arts. And you know I'm very passionate about our creative art. So let me know your comments in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if this video helped you understand the full story behind the headline, give it a like and make sure you subscribe for more breakdowns like this. And don't forget to share the video. My name, of course, is Emmanuel Kwame Sapon, but you know me and you can find me anywhere, everywhere at Olele Salvador. And this has been an exciting episode of In Case You Missed It, right here on OSN. See you in the next upload. Bye bye.